Okay, we're going to begin. Thank you, everyone, for coming this afternoon. My name is David Kilnick. I'm President and Chief Executive Officer of the LGBT Network. And we have Peter Flory here from DNF Development. And today we are so excited to unveil the plans for our LGBT and LGBT-friendly housing that will be built in Bayshore. It's going to be 75 units of 100% affordable housing, anchored by a brand new 8,000 square foot LGBT center as well attached to the building. And this is the first time that we're showing the drawings anywhere, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what's going to be here, but this is really going to help continue improving downtown Bayshore and also expand the footprint of where we're at right now. We've been in Bayshore for 24 years, and at this particular facility, our community center facility in Bayshore, for 15 years. So we have a 4,200 square foot facility now. It's going to be nearly doubled, attached with 75 units of 100% affordable housing for LGBT elder adults and LGBT-friendly adults as well. Older adults. Tonight is, we're excited to unveil these plans before a historic vote by the Town of Islip Planning Board tonight that will give us the zoning change that we need to have to move forward to build this very, very important project. And let me just talk a little bit about the need for affordable housing in LGBT older adults and seniors. The need for affordable LGBT-friendly senior housing is considerable, especially on Long Island, and particularly for LGBT older adults who have faced a lifetime of stigma and discrimination by their peers. Now, you know, the population on Long Island of elder adults is booming, more so than any other place in the nation. You know, there are a growing number of older adults on Long Island. The baby boomer generation is aging, and recent statistics point to the Long Island region bearing the brunt of this growth, something that we probably wouldn't think of in our average daily lives across Nassau and Suffolk counties. You know, statistics show that there are a disproportionately greater number of older adults on Long Island. Nassau and Suffolk counties posted higher median ages than that of New York State and the country as a whole, according to the most recent U.S. Census Bureau population estimates. And according to the Long Island Index, Long Island's 55-plus populations is growing by more than 2% per year, which is more than 6 times the overall rate of population growth. Consider that. According to the Long Island Index, Long Island's 55-plus populations is growing by more than 2% per year, which is more than 6 times the overall rate of population growth. Now, combine these factors of 6 times the population growth with an already disproportionate number of older adults on Long Island and scarce affordable housing, and we have a crisis on our hands. We have a growing number of older adults, a lot of them with lower incomes, scarce affordable housing, and we need to do something about it. And this project is a step in that direction to address a crisis that we have here on Long Island. Now, for LGBT seniors, many of our older adults, and seniors have faced a lifetime of discrimination and stigma. So you take the statistics I just gave and combine them with economic inequities, social isolation and discrimination and stigma, and the world that we're living in today, and the need for LGBT older adult housing is exponential. LGBT older adults generally have less family support than their heterosexual peers and find themselves at financial disadvantages. LGBT older adults also tend to have few or no spousal benefits, less help from children, and many have been cut out from inheritance when they came out and other family members found out that they were LGBT. So LGBT elder adults or LGBT baby boomers came of age at a time when homophobia and discrimination was legal, which kept many people in the closet, which kept many of our seniors and elder adults in the closet. If someone found out that you are LGBT, you could be fired from your job, evicted from your apartment, or denied benefits. You could be condemned by the church from the pulpit. You could be declared mentally ill. you could be fired from your job, and in this day and age, you certainly could be told you can't serve our country, as well as we're hearing from our current president. All of this was legal to do when they were growing up, and we certainly know that we have a fight ahead of us with this administration. Now, when we talk about housing discrimination and LGBT seniors, unfortunately, they go hand in hand. And housing is another area that many LGBT older adults are still facing great discrimination. The nonprofit Equal Rights Center recently did tests across 10 U.S. states and found that nearly half of the cases, 48% of the cases, gay couples reported discrimination when seeking housing. Older LGBT people still face prejudice living on their own or in other types of retirement housing. Some LGBT older adults feel the need to return to the closet in their golden years in order to ensure that they will receive quality care or avoid rejection and violence from fellow residents. Now, all of these factors combined can force an LGBT older adult into isolation and depression, especially given the greater likelihood of not having children, possible rejection from family, and lack of caregivers. So if you think about the people that supported a world that our current group of LGBT seniors grew up in, and they would have to go to housing where they're going to meet the same group of people who, when they were growing up, were the ones who were discriminating against them, were the ones who were bullying them, this would not be a safe place that they would have to go live. And many of our LGBT elder adults tell us that if I have to go to the housing that exists right now, I'm going to have to go back into the closet. No one should ever feel like they cannot be their true, authentic selves, and no one should ever feel like they have to go back into the closet. And we need to make sure that every single senior citizen, every single older adult on Long Island is able to live their golden years with the highest quality of life. And that's what this project is going to achieve. You know, there are currently a total of only 20 other affordable housing developments that cater to LGBT older adults in the United States that are either built or announced. Currently, there are no facilities of this kind that exist in the New York tri-state area, and we estimate by the time that we are ready to welcome residents in late 2019 or early 2020 to this new affordable housing complex in Bayshore, it will be the first of its kind in the tri-state area, and Long Island will be leading the way for our LGBT and LGBT-friendly older adults to receive the housing that they can afford and the quality of life that they deserve. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Peter Flory from DNF Development, who we are working with in partnership to build this fabulous facility, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about the details of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, David. Peter Flory, DNF Development. We are partners with the LGBT network on this project, on this groundbreaking project. And we are really, I just want to say that we are really thrilled to be working with the network on this project. Clearly it is unique, and we are really looking forward to moving forward and getting the shovels in the ground. As you can see from the design, we have taken elements from what we feel is the best features of architecture that exist in Bayshore and its surrounding areas and incorporated them into the building. It's a 4-story building with parking and the community center on the ground floor, along with an additional center for the residents in the building. So there will be separate centers featured within the building. The building has, as David mentioned, 75 units, 71 one-bedroom units, and 4 two-bedroom units. They'll be affordable to those households, seniors who are between 60 and 80% of the area median income. And so roughly translated in today's numbers, we're talking about incomes that will range anywhere from a low of about $35,000 a year to a high of somewhere in the neighborhood of $85,000 a year. So we have a bit of a range that we can that we're talking about. Rents right now that have not been firmly established because we're dealing with a situation that's going to be 2 years ahead, but somewhere in the neighborhood of under $1,000 on up to about $1,600. So truly affordable units, certainly for this area. As it's no secret that Long Island lags far behind our neighbors, both in New Jersey, Westchester, Connecticut, in terms of rental housing. So this is, and of course in senior housing. So, and not to mention this type of housing, which is, the first of its type, and we're extremely excited to be involved in that. The funding will come from a combination of sources. New York State is certainly anticipated to be involved in the funding of the project, as well as the center. Suffolk County will certainly play a large role in the funding of the building, and our DNF will also be contributing its own equity into the project to make it successful. Other than that, David did a fabulous job of describing the project and framing everything. So I think with that, I'll turn it back to David.
Sure. Thank you, Peter. So also just to clarify, there will be the 8,000 square foot community center that will anchor the housing development. It will provide not only services to the residents within the housing complex, but to all of Long Island's elder adults and seniors. So there will be a wide range of services for seniors, LGBT and LGBT-friendly seniors to take part in at this 8,000 square foot center. Additionally, what Peter talked about, there will be a much smaller residential facility for recreation for residents that will be located within the building as well. But the 8,000 square foot center will be providing services as it does now, as our 4,200 square foot center does now in Bayshore, to all of Suffolk County and Nassau County's families and seniors and elder adults. And so, just this is the corner right here of Mechanicsville Road, leading up to Park Avenue. And our current facility is here, but it's set back. So what we're talking about is that this is now 2 acres of 2 acres, right? Approximately of that the whole complex will be built on, and it will extend down Mechanicsville Road here. And if you were at this property right now, you would see empty buildings, vacant buildings, that this certainly will continue in the revitalization of downtown Bayshore. This project is also a transit-oriented development. We are down the block from the Bayshore Long Island Railroad Station, and also the Suffolk County bus system is also, we'll stop right in front of the facility.
And we're going to be enhancing the bus stop there too.
Yes. We're going to be making, as Peter said, we're going to be making enhancements to landscaping. Well, right now there's none, so any would be an enhancement. But we're going to be making enhancements to landscaping and also the current Suffolk County bus stop that is there, which will help increase the quality of life for all Bayshore residents and all visitors to Bayshore too. Because we know that Bayshore has been, although I know because we've been there for over 2 decades, and we certainly have seen the resurgence of downtown Bayshore come alive, and to have housing in downtown and also have it as a transit-oriented development is key to keeping people here on Long Island, but especially to our seniors who want to stay here on Long Island, to be able to have such housing in a downtown area where they can shop, where they can eat, where they can have transportation to go to doctor's appointments and other needs that they have. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. Yes?
Security. What you guys are doing with security in that situation?
Sure. Well, we currently have our community center in Bayshore right now on the block. And what we do in terms of security is we have a security system, we have security cameras. We feel Bayshore is a safe community because part of what we do is we don't just stay within our center and work insular. we really get out there and we're part of the community. We've been part of the Chamber of Commerce since the day that we moved into Bayshore. We work with the other folks in different housing areas. We work with the school district. So our organization has been an essential part of the Bayshore community. You know, it was quite interesting when we were talking with different civic groups about the project. There were some folks who raised their hand and said, "I have a concern." I was like, "Uh-oh," you know. But the concern wasn't about having this housing development and the new community center in the district. They were concerned that we were not going to have some of the programs that we have now that their kids grew up with. And so we assured them that we will continue programs that we are doing now at our community center in Bayshore. It will just be able to be enhanced because we're going to be able to have more space and more focus with the residents at the complex as well. So you know, we're part of the Bayshore community. We feel safe. We all take care of one another, whether it's us at our center or whether it's our neighbors across the street or whether it's our neighbors down in the business district. We all look out for one another and take care of one another. And the Suffolk County Police Department has been a great partner as well.
Can you talk a little bit about the screening process for prospective tenants and renters?
Sure. You want to do that, or I can too.
We'll both talk about it. Well, first off, I just want to make sure it's understood that we're going to be certainly adhering to all of the fair housing laws, and so there is the outreach process will have to be also approved by the agencies that are funding what we're doing. And typically that involves reaching out to those who are least likely to apply. And of course, in addition to that, there's going to be an extensive outreach into the LGBT community to make sure that they're also aware of this project and aware of what it has to offer. That will culminate in a lottery process, and that process probably will be announced near the completion of the project, and then the marketing effort will go on for several months, at which time the lottery will be conducted and the residents will be selected.
Mm-hmm. So we're working within the fair housing guidelines, and so there's only two restrictions for this project. The two restrictions are age and income, because it is a 100% affordable project. A lot of the affordable housing projects that I have seen being built, folks will call it an affordable housing project, and maybe 10% or 20% of the units are affordable, and then 80% are market rate. And we know that market rate probably in downtown Bayshore, we've seen it in other downtowns that are being built up around Long Island, are somewhere in the $2,500 or $3,000 a month, or even more for a one-bedroom. That's not affordable. For many of our families, and certainly many of our seniors. So this is a 100% affordable project, which would mean that it's definitely income restriction and age restriction because it's senior housing. As far as LGBT friendly, we work within the fair housing guidelines, and there's marketing to everyone that's in our communities, not only the LGBT communities, but the Long Island communities and beyond. And we're also going to use best practices of some of the similar housing that exists in Philadelphia, in Chicago, and LA that have built these projects working within the fair housing guidelines. We're working with the Long Island Housing Partnership, which is the premier organization on Long Island for affordable housing. So this is a true partnership between our organization, the LGBT Network, Long Island's Affordable Housing Organization, the Long Island Housing Partnership, and DNF Development too. Any other? Nope. Thank you. We look forward to the vote tonight. We look forward to approval it's been a long time coming, from the Islip Planning Board, and then getting the shovels in the ground for this project. So it's very exciting, and feel free. We have we have handouts too, which are these, and we also could email them to you if you want to, if it's easier. So thank you again. Thank you so much.